Hello everyone, my name is Asby Viviana Delgado Gamarra, and today I'm going to show you the classes that I adapt for English learners in A2 level from rural, urban, and university. So we're gonna take a look in here. I did this presentation based on the Arnold's principles because we need to focus in the authenticity of the purpose, the response for task, and the conditions. Okay, so in this part, we need to pay attention that the resource that we're going to teach to our students, no matter if that in that case we have students in rural or urban, a city, or from university, we need to see in here that the resource that we're gonna use is gonna have a purpose and it's gonna be interesting for them, and it's gonna be, of course, something for the real world because they need something real, they need something that adapts to the world nowadays. I'll say, keeping in mind that we're going to start here with the urban students. These students are from the city, and as we know, they have a lot of possibilities in technology, more one of the others, but they have it. So the topic that I choose to adapt from a book that I had is The Simple Past. As we know, is a really easy topic. So we need to start in here by exploring the students' knowledge. It's really important to know what are the knowledge that our students have in a topic. So in this part, we're going to start with diagnosis. I have the annexes in here because they have links, so you can actually pay attention and maybe click on the link and see what is the activity. We're gonna see in here the regular and irregular forms for the verbs. As we know, the verbs with ed are the regulars, and the totally different maybe pronunciation or writing is the irregulars. So we're gonna see a diagnosis for our students in the urban place. How much do you know about that? So the past for the verb, how to write it in negative, positive, or interrogative ways. So we're gonna use this reading about a dog who came to stay. Okay, this is a short reading, and this is a short screenshot that I took. After they're reading this, they're going to select the true or false in this. This helps them to analyze each one of the possibilities in here because they need to pay attention to the verbs, to the structures, and have a critical thinking. For the warming up, after doing that, we're gonna see the vocabulary. In the annex 2, I have a presentation there, a short video, when you can see a teacher that is going to teach them how to do this game. So in this case, we're gonna have like a ball or a dart, but not a dart with something that is gonna be sharp. No, not at all. So maybe there's a sticky ball that we're gonna do. I'm going to focus this in inventions because it's much perfect with the simple past. We can talk about inventions with that. So I'm going to use this vocabulary about the inventions, and they're going to be in the flashcards. So they're going to have in here like a target in the board and the concentric circles, and they're going to have a number. The flashcards are going to have a number too. So when there's going to be the sticky ball is going to push in there, they're going to see the number and pick up the card. When they see the card, maybe I don't know, maybe the number one. The number one is a television, so they need to talk about this, or maybe another invention different, or maybe you can see Tesla and another inventor. They're going to see inventor and inventions. Some is corresponding to the flashcard. They're going to talk about that in two teams. They're going to be divided. Now, the teacher explanation is going to be the same for the three groups, for rural, urban, and university, but in different levels, of course. So in here we're gonna have, as I told you before, we're gonna have maybe video bean or something to project or something to show, to display, and we're going to explain all the complete structure, affirmative, negative, how to do the interrogative, how do I use the past simple in my life to describe things that already happened, and how to do with the verb to be, that is the exceptions that we're gonna use here in the simple past, and the form that it has as, was, and were. For the student practice, I was preparing a reading activity about Leonardo da Vinci, George Lerner. That's the inventor from the potato head, and the one from the Toy Story. Yes, that one. So it's gonna be a reading with questions and matching that they're going to see. How much did they learn so far about this? For the student production, that is the last part, the home task or the homework, as we can call it, is about the speaking time. I love this part because the student can talk about the favorite invention. And this is just an example about the television, but they can choose whatever they want. Maybe the headphones, maybe the cell phone, maybe the computer, something that they actually like. But we're not going to focus in just simple ideas that I like the television, or I used to have a television, or the television was invented by. No, something more concrete, something more complex, something that they can explain about this invention that they choose. As we can see in here, we had a reference about all the activities that I mentioned before, because I cannot display everything in here because they are too large. However, these are the links that you can show if you want to. Here we're gonna focus now in the rural students. We know the rural students doesn't have a lot of opportunities and maybe the supplies that they need to have the classes like the urban or university students. So we're gonna try to do as best as possible for them in here for the exploring the knowledge that they have. And we're gonna see maybe what did you do the last week, something short, something really specific with words that they can understand, and the teacher is going to help them to create the short ideas so they can talk. I put in here an example about how was your weekend. It was great, or maybe it wasn't that great, it wasn't really boring, something really similar to this, so they can express themselves in a really easy way. Now for the warming up, it's going to be something similar to that, with invention again. However, the teacher is going to ask the questions, and what they are going to understand in that moment, if they understand something about maybe I'm going to show a flashcard. There is an information in here about the photography. The photography was invented in this year by this person. They have all the information, and related to that, I'm going to ask the question. If they pay attention, they're going to know if the question it is true about something or is not. They're going to place it in the part where it's yes about them or no about them. For the teacher explanation, as I said before, it's going to be something related to that, but more specific. Is something really clear for them to understand the topic, because we know that they don't have a lot of vocabulary to know what we're talking about. So we need to do like a merge Spanish a little bit with English so they can understand us we were talking about. For the student practice, we're going to talk about Louis Pasteur. As we know, he was the inventor about pasteurization. The practice, thanks to him, we can find milk, not spoil it because the microorganisms. So, and the vaccination we have now. However, Louis Pasteur it was really important in the part of the agriculture. So it's more related to the part that we are, that they belong. So that's what the decision that I made, that I choose Louis Pasteur for them. It's a reading activity. It's really short. It's like biography, and they're going to change the verbs in the spaces that we can see in here in a short capture that I put it. For the production, they're going to bring something from the houses that maybe is going to be the technology that they have. Something that they have that maybe they was obtaining by, I don't know, maybe some relative, and they're going to explain with their own words how long did they have that and what is the meaning, what is the word for that invention, and why do they like it. And for the last one, the university students, that's a different level. We're going to explore the student previous knowledge by talking about the last vacation. It's going to be in pairs. And after that, they can use this wheel that is from a web page. It's WordWall. We can use that. We can project it. And as a teacher, we or us ask to them about this. Maybe when the wheel starts, maybe you're going to ask, what was the best book that you read, maybe in your vacation? Or what did you cook? Or maybe tell me what was the best food that you ate last vacation. Something related with that. But it's going to be for the teacher. In pairs, they're going to talk about the last vacation, but just between of them. For the warming up, we're going to do a speed interview. Something quick, something that they like it, and we're gonna change maybe 1 minute with this, like the dates, something really Russian, but they're going to talk about the favorite invention. I like this invention because this, and this. 1 minute change, and they're going to change between each one of them because they have to do participation with the whole group. For the diction explanation is similar, but we're gonna use even more the irregular verbs. I know the regular verbs are important, but the irregular verbs are important too. So we need to use it even more with them because they need to expand their vocabulary. For the student practice, I choose this man, Steve Jobs, is something more, modern, if I can say that. So he's well known for the technology, the companies, the Apple, the Macintosh, and everything. So this is a reading comprehension about him and the electronic devices and everything related with the company. And for the student productions, the homework that they're going to do, they're going to choose an invention, write and recite a monologue, an autobiography, so they can emphasize the simple past when they are speaking. If they choose maybe Nikola Tesla, I love Nikola Tesla. So if they're going to choose Nikola Tesla, they had to represent Nikola Tesla as Nikola Tesla. So they're going to represent Nikola Tesla and talk about him. Okay, so and we had the reference to in here about the annex that I use for this. So I hope that you liked my presentation, and I hope that I could be clear with all of this. Thank you so much for your attention.